Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Diksha E-Learning. A beautiful woman draws strength from troubles, smiles during distress, and grows stronger with prayers and hope. You are one of them. Wishing you all a very happy International Women's Day. Now, before going to the actual program, let us all observe a minute of silence for the great Vaidya, Dr. Srinivas Acharya sir, who has departed from his body last month. Let us give him a homage and let us remember him on this great occasion. Thank you. On this special day, we Team Diksha E-Learning are really happy to celebrating this with all of you. To make this day even more special, we have two beautiful and powerful ladies who have joined us. Dr. Vanitha Muralidharan, former CCIM president and our chief guest, and Dr. Nilofer M. Sheikh as our guest lecturer for today's evening. To wish you all a very happy Women's Day and to deliver the welcome address, I would like to invite Dr. Sudhir Rajan, our Academy Coordinator, Diksha E-Learning. Over to you, sir.
Good evening, one and all. Today, we are celebrating International Women's Day. Today, the whole world is celebrating International Women's Day for accelerating women's equality in all sectors of life. In 2021, the theme for International Women's Day is Let's All Choose to Challenge. So, International Women's Day is a global day celebrating the social, economic, cultural, and political achievements of women. Nowadays, women are showing their active presence in all spheres of life, which is the need of the hour. Diksha E-Learning wishing you a happy International Women's Day. Today, we are blessed with Dr. Vanitha Murali Kumar as chief guest for our program. I know Dr. Vanitha from 2000 onwards, and she's a powerful and charismatic lady with full of positive vision and thoughts, and always stood as a real propagator of Ayurveda. First time in the history of Central Council, a lady became the president of CCIM, who is having admirable administrative capacity. She continued in the post of CCM presidentship for 2 tenure, and also she made new curriculum for Ayurveda syllabus. Her performance was really appreciable, and she is always passionate in Ayurveda. Even during the busy schedule of presidentship of CCIM, she found time for practicing Ayurveda both at Chennai and Delhi. And presently, she is running on hospital with high-tech facility at Chennai. She is well known for treating infertility. From Ayurvedic fraternity, she is a role model for women empowerment. We are so lucky to have her as our chief guest for our Women's Day program. With so much of gratitude and pleasure, I welcome you, Madam. Today, we have another powerful woman, Dr. Nilofer M. Sheikh, who is very passionate in Ayurveda and regularly promoting Ayurveda through social media, and she is a good practitioner and academician. She did her UG from JS Ayurveda Mahavidyalaya, Nadiad Jamnagar, and started her career as an assistant professor, Department of Prasuti Tantra evam Sri Roga at JS Ayurveda Mahavidyalaya. She had presented many papers at national and international seminars. She is a clinical expert in infertility, antenatal care, and cancer management. She has also published many research papers in peer-reviewed articles, and it's my great pleasure to welcome Dr. Nilofer M. Sheikh on behalf of Diksha E-Learning. I welcome all the participants who had joined with us for the Women's Day program. And once again, happy Women's Day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now, to give the inaugural address, I would like to welcome our chief guest, Dr. Vanitha Muralidharan ma'am. Before handing over the session, I would like to take the golden opportunity of introducing ma'am. She was elected as the first woman president, CCIM, Ministry of Ayush, Government of India in the year 2014. Ma'am completed her UG from the Venkatrama Ayurveda College, Chennai, and PG from Sri DGM Ayurveda Medical College and Postgraduation Center, Cuttack, Karnataka. She is a member of Central Council of Indian Medicine and Central Advisory Board of Education. She has also worked as a lecturer and principal and is presently serving as the director of Sairam Ayurveda Medical College, Chennai. Ma'am was honored with Award of Excellence in the field of Ayurveda in the year 2008 by All India Ayurveda Congress, New Delhi. Dr. J.L.N. Shastri Medal Award for the Best Paper Presentation in the field of Ayurvedic Education. Best Teacher Award from T.N. Dr. MGR Medical University in the year 2010. She has also worked as the principal investigator for many projects in the past and is actively contributing in the field till date. Now, I would like to hand over the session with Dr. Vanitha ma'am for inaugural address. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Sri Lakshmi and Reshmi for giving me an introduction. And thank you, Dr. Sudhir, for giving this platform to meet you all and wish you a very great International Women's Day. You know, every woman has to be celebrated daily. Why it is International Women's Day only on 8th March? I always used to think, because we have the power and we have the grace and we are deserving to be celebrated every day. For me, each and every day is a Women's Day. And particularly in the field of Ayurveda, now the more increasing number of female students, 80% to 90% in the class of female students. And the future of Ayurveda is going to be with women power, not this 33% or today's debate at Parliament for 50%. Automatically 100% will come into women in future Ayurveda. That's my vision. And I wish each and every student, the women practitioners in our field, to work hard and take this opportunity. Don't take it, grab this opportunity and prove your wonderful power in serving Ayurveda. You know, I always used to think that each and every field, woman has a lot of constraints in her growth, in her career, and most of the sacrifices are done by the women, either after getting married or because of childbirth, in grooming the child. Many intelligent ladies give up their career. The women's growth is like triangle, you see. The more number of people will enter, and day by day, when they grow, and only very few will be left in the top. It's not that people sitting in the top alone are the achievers. So why I'm telling, because people think that I am a great achiever, I am the first woman president of CSM. It's not like that. I know many female in our field also who struggled to come up, but due to some reason or the other reason, they have left, and they are also very much deserving. So my Women's Day wishes is for all those who are outside the career, but still they want to struggle and wanted to achieve. So I especially wish them that God should give them way to come out and prove themselves, because they too are very much deserving, not only the people who are sitting in the top. And when we take our field, I don't remember who is the first Ayurveda female doctor in India, but I have studied that the first woman doctor in India is Anandibai Joshi. She, after her delivery, she lost her son. That's why that has screwed her, that has given her a fire to study medical system, and she urged her husband that I must study medical college. Her husband wrote to University of Pennsylvania for her studies, and she got 2 years program of medical studies, and she went to US to study medical system. That time she is the only person who did her dissertation. This point has to be very much noted. Please remember, her dissertation work was the antenatal care and the childbirth of women through Ayurvedic system of medicine. This was her dissertation work. The first female modern medicine doctor did her thesis with Ayurveda. Then you can remember how much we were existing during Anandbai Joshi's time. So, women only can take the Indian heritage globally. I'm damn sure about it. So she was the first person but she did modern medicine, but her dissertation she used was Ayurvedic medicine. We can see her research work. It's also available in the internet. So I feel that you all can take the Indian heritage national level at international level, And you only can prove our Indian system the successful and the most promising system of medicine among many systems in the world. And this was very sadly, after she completed her medical system, she came back to India. She practiced for only 1 year and she expired because of tuberculosis. These are the stories of few women who enters first in any field. Likewise, I'm from Tamil Nadu. You know, the famous Madras Medical College, who completed the centenary celebrations, more than 100 years oldest medical institution. The first female student was Dr. Muthulakshmi Reddy. In 1905, when she joined the college, all the parents of the boy students objected and written a letter to the European Dean stating that kindly remove Muthulakshmi Reddy's admission, otherwise our sons are not going to attend the class. It was a European Dean, not an Indian Dean. It was a European Dean. He questioned why you all want to remove her. Then the parents reacted and replied, if she is studying in the class, all our sons will get spoiled, so you just remove her. The European Dean boldly taken a decision and replied to them, I can run this Madras Medical College with one female student. You all keep your sons at home. That's not a matter for me, but I can run this college with one female student. This was the story of first medical student in Madras Medical College. So whomsoever comes first, whomsoever comes or enters as a first in the field, that is first woman in the field, always have the struggles. But remember, but you already created a way. It is easy for you to come up. I became first woman Vice President Ayurveda in CCA Ministry of Ayush. I became first woman in CCA Ministry of Ayush. I have already created the way. Please, all of you follow. I want each and every Ayurveda female doctors to occupy the helm of affairs, and future should be decided with women in Ayurveda especially. And I wish each and every one of you a beautiful day you have had, and we will also have Dr. Nilofer is already joined, and she is a very good researcher. I have seen her studies and materials, a lot of work in her college, and wish you good luck, Dr. Nilofer. I also wish each and everyone, thanks for giving me this platform. I have been watching this Diksha e-learning for a few months. A lot of improvement and lot of information related to Ayurveda is there. Make use of it and enjoy the day, a colorful day, and wish you all the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for your inspiring words. We are honored to have you esteemed presence on this beautiful occasion of Women's Day and inspiring everyone present here. Now, to give the vote of thanks, I would like to welcome my colleague and student coordinator, Diksha e-learning, Dr. Sri Lakshmi. Over to you, Sri Lakshmi.
Thank you, Dr. Rashmi. Good evening to all. It is a great privilege for me to extend the vote of thanks in this beautiful occasion of Women's Day celebration 2021. First of all, I would like to express our gratitude and sincere thanks to Dr. Vanitha ma'am for being here and with us today as our chief guest and for inspiring us with your golden words. On behalf of the entire team Diksha and the invited guests and participants, once again, thank you, ma'am, for inspiring us. Next, I would like to thank Dr. Nilofer ma'am for accepting our invitation and agreed to deliver a lecture on the topic Common Gynecological Problems and its Management on this great occasion. Ma'am, your passion, in-depth knowledge and education is always evident throughout all your sessions. On behalf of the entire team Diksha and for all the participants, once again, thank you, ma'am, for being here with us today. Last but not the least, I would like to thank all the respected participants of Diksha e-learning for your constant support throughout our journey. We have reached here with you because of you only, and we are expecting the same support in all our future endeavors also. Thank you all. Now, without any further delay, let us go to the session on the topic Gynecological Problems and its Management, conducted by Dr. Nilofer M. Sheikh. Before starting the session, I would like to take the golden opportunity of introducing ma'am. Dr. Nilofer Sheikh did her UG from JS Ayurveda Mahavidyalaya, Nadiad, and PG from IPGT and RA Jamnagar, start her career as an assistant professor in the Department of Prasuti Tantra Evam Stri Roga from JS Ayurveda Mahavidyalaya, presented papers in many national and international seminars. She is also a clinical expert in infertility and antenatal care and cancer management. Ma'am has also published many research papers in peer-reviewed articles. It is my great pleasure to welcome Ma'am to this platform. Now, before starting the session, I would like to go through a few of the basic instructions to be followed throughout the session. For an uninterrupted class session, use a laptop with high-speed internet connection. Please make sure your microphone is on mute to have a disturbance-free session. In case of any disruption, please check your internet connection first. And if the problem is within our network connection, kindly raise the issue in the chat box. Filling your full name to be displayed is appreciated. Any questions can be raised in the chat box. With that, we are going to start the session. Over to you, ma'am.
So thank you so much. Thank you, Sri Lakshmi ma'am, for introducing me. And here I would like to thank Dr. Sudhir Raj sir giving an opportunity to speak on this special day, that is International Women Day. On this occasion, here I would like to deliver the topic that is common gynecological disorders and its management. And it is a great privilege and honor for me to share the virtual platform with Dr. Vinitha ma'am, the former president of CCIM. So again, it's a great thing for me to share this virtual platform along with ma'am you. So now I'm going to start the session, and for that here I would like to share my PowerPoint presentation. So is it visible?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Okay, so the topic of today's session, that is common gynecological problems and its management. So first of all, again, I would like to wish the best wishes of International Women's Day. So being a gynecologist, there are many gynecological problems that we have to, like patient approach with us, like leukorrhea, then DUB, dysmenorrhea, endometriosis, chocolate cyst. So these are the common gynecological disorders. And management, like I am going to share some my clinical experience and what can be the line of management to treat this kind of the disease that I would like to share with you. So first, the most common gynecological problem, that is the Shweta or leukorrhea. So here, when patient are approaching to us with the complaint of white discharge, so as per my clinical practice, I would like to divide the patient into three age group. That is, first one, that is adolescence age, second one, that is reproductive age, and third one is that menopausal age. So in adolescence age group, when the patient has a complaint of white discharge, so the main cause or the most common cause of this white discharge during this period, that is the lack of hemoglobin. So sometimes we think that white discharge is only due to infection, but in this age group, we have to take a consideration about the lack of hemoglobin and the nutritional status of the patient. Second thing, second age group, that is the reproductive age. So in this age group, like it about 25 to 38 years, patient has the sexual history, like she has a patient is a have a sexual intercourse, and she might be suffer with the STDs. So when the patient approach with this white discharge in the reproductive age group, then we have to think about the STDs. And the last, that is the menopausal age. So in this age group, what the condition, that is the lack of estrogen will be there. So due to lack of estrogen, there will be changes in the vaginal pH, and that thing lead the senile vaginitis or the white discharge. So what happened when patient have the complaint of white discharge, and usually we are going to treat this white discharge or leukorrhea with the Pushyanuk Churna. But sometimes we have to think about the cause of that white discharge. Like if it is due to lack of hemoglobin, then you have to add some medicine to increase the hemoglobin, that is like Datrilo. Okay. In Ayurveda, there is one Yoni Vyapad, that is Asharna Yoni Vyapad. So Yonyam Adavnat Kandum Jata Kurvanti Chantava. So here Acharya Charak has given that description, Acharna yoni vyapat that occurred due to unhygienic condition. So when a patient is approaching to you with these white discharge, so you have to take consideration about the menstrual hygiene as well as local hygienic condition of the patient. So what can be the causes of white discharge? So it may be due to hormonal changes, like it is physiological discharge before the onset of the menstruation or at the time of the ovulation. Second, it may be due to some infections, like it may be due to bacterial, then fungal or the protozoal infection. Then if patient has a history of recurrent white discharge, then you have to perform the per speculum examination, and you have to check whether there is a cervical erosion on the cervix or not. Because sometimes the cervix is eroded, and due to that there is the history of recurrent white discharge. And the last, if patient has a complaint of white discharge along with some bleeding, or there is the foul smelling white discharge, then we have to take consideration about the cervical or uterine. Along with the white discharge, if it is an infectious condition, then there will be some associated symptoms, like patient patient has like itching in vagina, swelling or redness in the vagina, burning sensation in the vagina, and foul smelling discharge. So these all are the associated symptoms of the white discharge. Like here you can see in this picture, there is a curdy discharge, which we can found in the fungal infection. Likewise, the patient has the redness and the patches over the vagina that indicated the fungal infection. So according to the type of infection, the treatment protocol can be changed. Okay. So what are the Ayurvedic management? So in oral medicaments, we can give Pushyanubh Churna, Amalki Churna, Lodra Churna, Nagakesar Churna. So all these drugs have a Stambhak property, and it will reduce the white discharge. But if there is an infection in there, like patient has the complaint of itching also, then you can add the Gandhak Rasayan. And the dose of Gandhak Rasayan will be 500 mg. And if it is a chronic case of white discharge, then you can add a Chokchini Churna also. So these are the oral medicaments that we can use in cases of white discharge. Along with these oral medicaments, there are some local procedures, that is Sthanik Chikitsa. So we can perform the Yoni Prakshalan, that is called as a vaginal douche. So with the help of Panchvalkal Kwat, Nimb Kwat, Trifla Kwat, we can perform the Yoni Prakshalan. But here, when the doshik involvement, we have to take consideration. Like if there is involvement of pitta, then Panchvalkal Kwat will give a good result. Likewise, if it is a case of fungal infection that you already identified with the help of per speculum examination, if there is a curdy discharge, then you have to choose Nimb Kwat for the Yoni Prakshalan. Likewise, another thing, that is a Yoni Varti, that is we can consider it as a vaginal suppository, like Datakyadi Varti, Devdarvyadi Varti, Neem Varti. So these are the newer one form of this herbal vaginal suppository. So it is easy to insert, and it has a good effect on the cases of white discharge also. After the Yoni Prakshalan and Yoni Prakshalan, we should apply the Yoni Pichu. Again, there are a number of medicines like Nimb Tel, Jatyadi Tel, Shatavari Grit that we can apply into the vagina. But again, if there is a fungal infection, then Nimb Tel is a beneficial. And if it is a dominancy of a pitta dosha, and there is a vaginitis, then you should apply Jatyadi Tel. And again, if it is due to lack of estrogen, like I told earlier that it is in a menopausal age, then Shatavari Grit local application is beneficial. If a patient has the itching into the vagina along with this white discharge, then even then you can advise Gandhakadi Malhar for the local application. So there is one more method, that is outchunan or dusting, like powder of Vidang, Lodra, Nagkesar and Amalki, that can be applied in the cases of white discharge. But we, in cases while you are going to deal with white discharge, you have to find out the cause first. Like in the adolescence age, there is more chance of lack of nutrition and the lack of hemoglobin. So in that case, you have to give Dhatrilo or even some iron preparation to treat this white discharge. Likewise, in menopausal age, it is it is conditioned. White discharge is due to lack of estrogen hormone. So you have to advise some hormone replacement therapy. In Ayurveda, you can give Shatavari Churna or orally. So likewise, you have to treat this white discharge according to age, according to cause, and according to the infection. Like if it is a fungal infection, then Nimb Kwatha Prakshalan and Nimb Tel Pichu is beneficial. So if the cause of white discharge is cervical erosion is also. So with the help of pars speculum examination, when you find out that there is this erosion in the cervix, then there are two options, like Agni Karma, and second one is Kshar Karma. So Agni Karma is a single sitting process. With the help of Swarna Shalaka or Vrana Ropan Shalaka, we can perform the Agni Karma. While Kshar Karma is a milder form and it is required more sittings. So with the help of Yav Kshar, Kasisa Dikshar, Sudhe Tankar, we can perform the Kshar Karma. So after the Agni Karma and Kshar Karma, you have to apply Chatyadi Tel Yoni Pichu for 7 days. So these are the line of management of the cervical erosion. So along with Agni Karma and Kshar Karma, after the Agni Karma and Kshar Karma, some oral medicines that you can prescribe to patient to treat that erosion, that is mixture of Rasayani Churna. So the combination, it is a combination of Guduchi, Gokshur and Amalki. And you can add some Haridra, like Haridra has a Shodhan and Ropan property. And to stop this discharge, you can add a Pushyanu Churna, Chandra Prabhavati. And if patient has a recurrent cervical erosion, then it is advisable to give her the Mridu Virechan. Mridu Virechan is benefit to decrease the aggravated Pitta dosha. So this is the line of treatment of cervical erosion. So here you can see this is the process of Agni Karma with the help of Rana Ropan Shalaka. And this is the procedure of a Kshar Karma. Here after the application of Kshar, that is a Yav Kshar or any Kshar, you have to perform the Yoni Prakshalan with the Trifla Kwatha to maintain the vaginal pH. The second most common gynecological problem, that is the dysmenorrhea. In Ayurveda, we can say it is as a Kast Arthav. So the definition of dysmenorrhea, that is, it is a cramps or painful menstruation, and it is sharp intermittent pain or dull aching pain, and that is found in pelvis and lower abdomen. And there are two types of dysmenorrhea, that is primary dysmenorrhea and other one secondary dysmenorrhea. So in secondary dysmenorrhea, there may be some pathology like PID, fibroid, endometriosis, adhesions, adenomyosis can be there. So what is the difference between primary dysmenorrhea and secondary dysmenorrhea? So usually primary dysmenorrhea appears in early age, like in adolescence period. You can see that it is a condition of primary dysmenorrhea, and along with this painful menstruation, a patient is suffering with some other systemic illness like nausea and vomiting. While in secondary dysmenorrhea, it occurs in later on in the reproductive age group, and there is no any associated complaint like nausea and vomiting, but pelvic pathology is present in secondary dysmenorrhea. So in Ayurveda, dysmenorrhea or Kast Arthav, so we can correlate it with the Udavarta Yoni Vyapad. And in Udavarta Yoni Vyapad, the involvement of Vata is there. And in Ayurveda, there is one quote, that is Vata Drute Nasti Ruja. So without Vata, there is no pain. So when the patient has the complaint of dysmenorrhea or painful menstruation, then we have to think about the Vata dosha. So what will be the Ayurvedic management of dysmenorrhea? So in this case, mrudu viration before 1 week of menses is advisable. Like patient has a LM last menstruation period, and before that, before 1 week, you have to advise mrudu viration. Then matra basti of Narayana Tela and Dashmula Tela 60 ml for 10 days. Abhyang on pelvic region, sthanic Svedan like Nadi Svedan on the pelvic region. So these are the medicament. These are the management of Kastarthav. Along with along with the procedures, there are some oral medicines like Sankhvati that you can prescribe 2 tablets 3 times a day. Ehrenbrecht Haritagi, especially if patient has a constipation. Like Vat is responsible of dysmenorrhea. So here anuloman of Vat is necessary. Like anuloman of Vat should be there. So for that purpose, you can give Ehrenbrecht Haritagi 2 tablets 3 times a day. Dashmul Kwatha 20 ml 2 times a day, Rajapravatani Vati and the Kumari Asav to treat this dysmenorrhea. So along with this management, you have to give some advice. Like a patient should advise not to take Vatvardhak Ahar, Shok, Ratri Jagran and Divaswap. These are the apathya conditions. Because in younger age, the most of the students have the, like they are prone to have this Nidan, like Ratri Jagran and Shokam. So that is to be avoided. Then Asrugdar, that is DUB. So dysfunctional uterine bleeding. So what is the definition of DUB? So it is an abnormal uterine bleeding without an obvious organic abnormality like neoplasm, pregnancy, inflammation, trauma, or any other pathology, because it is due to unnormal releasing hormones. So dysfunctional uterine bleeding can be correlated with Asrugdar. So in Ayurveda, in Sushrut Samhita, Acharya Sushrut has mentioned that in Asrugdar, there is excess amount of bleeding with Angamad and Vedana, like pain will be there. So what are the causes of Ashrugdar or excessive bleeding? So excessive intake of Lavan, Amla, Katu, Vidahi, Krishna, Payas, Dadi, Mastu, Guru, Snigdha and other Mithyahar Sevan. So these all Nidana will lead the aggravation of Pitta dosh, and Pitta is responsible for the excessive bleeding. Viruddha Bhojan, Garbha Prapat. Here with the Garbha Prapat, you can understand the overuse of abortifacient drugs. Ati Maithun. If patient has a history of excessive sexual intercourse, then again it can lead the PID. And PID is one of the cause of the excessive bleeding. So these are the causes of the excessive bleeding or Asrugdar. So what can be the treatment? So in a Shodhan Chikitsa, you have to give Virachan Karma first. And before the Virachan Karma, like in the Snepana, the Panchtikta Grita, Snepan with Panchtikta Grita give a good result. Like if patient has a continued bleeding since 15 or 20 days, to stop that bleeding, we can advise Shatavari Grita Nasya in a dose of 6 drops in each nostril. Along with Shodhan Chikitsa, some Sthanik Chikitsa like Krishna Mrutika Lep or Chandan Lep on the pelvic region has a good result. Now Shaman Chikitsa. So in a Ashrugdar or the patient who has excessive bleeding, we can give Pushyanu Churna, the Sanjan and honey, Ashok, Bhumyamalki, Nakkesar Churna, Khandkushmand Avle, Lodrashav, Ashokarist, Bolbadaras, Pradar Ripuras, Shonitargal Ras, Pravala Pisti and Chandra Prabhavati. Now Garbhashay Arbud, that we can correlate with uterine fibroid and another condition that is known as adenomyosis. So the line of treatment of uterine fibroid and adenomyosis is same. So these two conditions like uterine fibroid and adenomyosis, it is the commonest cause of hysterectomy and the most common tumor of the female genital organ, that is uterine fibroid. And what is adenomyosis? So it is the condition in which It is the condition in which the inner lining of the uterus, that is endometrium, breaks through the muscle wall of the uterus. So basically, when the growth of the endometrium occurs into the myometrium, then it terms as a adenomyosis. So in both conditions, like uterine fibroid and the adenomyosis, the complaint of the excessive bleeding will be there. But according to the site of the uterine fibroid, the complaint will vary. Like if patient has a fibroid, that is submucosal fibroid, so the complaint of excessive menses will be there. If it is an intramural fibroid, then the complaint of painful menses will be there. So likewise, the site and size of the fibroid, the complaint of the patient will vary. So the most common symptoms are abnormal and heavy menstrual bleeding, painful periods, and pain with intercourse, that term as a dyspareunia, bleeding between periods. So the line of treatment of fibroid or adenomyosis. So if the size of the fibroid is less than 5 centimeter, then you can treat it with the Ayurvedic medicine. So Kanchnar Guglu, 2 tablets 3 times a day, along with Varunadi Kwatha 20 ml 2 times a day. Gomutra Haritaki 2 tablet 3 times a day. Here we can perform the Lekhan Basti. Lekhan Basti has good result in fibroid and adenomyosis cases. So in Lekhan Basti, the drugs are Triflaquath, Gomutra, Madhu, Yavakshar, and Usakadi Gan. So Usakadi Gan Dravya contains Ushak, Sendav, Shilajit, Kasis, Hingu, and Tooth. Now Bijashay Granthi, that we can correlate it with PCOD. So again, it is the most common gynecological problem nowadays, and it is due to lifestyle, faulty lifestyle. So what are the signs and symptoms of polycystic ovarian syndrome? So patient will have irregular or prolonged periods, even sometimes amenorrhea. In USG, you can find the fluid-filled sacs or cyst into the ovary. The another symptom, that is a hirsutism, the growth of extra unwanted hair over the face. That is the symptom or sign of the PCOS. Hair loss, excessive cramping and bloating during the menstruation, acne and other skin-related problems, psychological stress and depression, fatigue, pelvic pain, and rapid weight gain. So these are the symptoms of PCOS. Now, how we can treat this PCOS condition? So to treat the PCOS, we have to take we have to take consideration about the lifestyle modification. We have to apply some Shodhan Chikitsa along with Shaman Chikitsa. So to modify the lifestyle, you have to give some advice, like the pathya of PCOS, like patient is advised to take lukewarm water, moong soup every day, and the Surya Namaskar. She has to do Surya Namaskar. And while in apatya, to avoid the junk food and fast food, avoid stress, avoid Divaswap and Ratri Jagrana. In Shodhan Chikitsa, Panchkarma, you can perform the Panchkarma. Marsinasya, if patient is not willing to do the Panchkarma, like if you want to treat the patient in outpatient department level, then you can offer the Marsinasya of Satpushpa Tel for 3 cycles after completion of the menses, along with Arpatra Swedan on pelvic region. Matra Basti of Shatpushpa or Narayan Tel for 3 cycles is also beneficial in this condition. And along with the Shodhan Chikitsa, Saman Chikitsa like Kanchnar Guglu, as we have to treat this condition as a Granthi. So Kanchnar Guglu, Varunadi Kwatha, if a patient has a amenorrhea, so you can add a Tel orally. You can advise to take the Tel orally in a Shaman Matra, that is 10 ml BD. Then the Shmul Kwatha, Hingvashtak Chuna, Raja Pravatani Vati for the condition of Anartha. And if patient is obese, then you can advise Arogyavardhini Vati, Gomutra Haritaki, and Mamejak Ganvati, because in PCOS, insulin resistance is there. So you can add the Mamejak Ganvati. Now, endometriosis or hemorrhagic cyst. So basically, endometriosis means the development of the endometrial tissue other than the uterine cavity. But if the development of the endometrial tissue in the ovary, then it termed as the hemorrhagic cyst. So endometriomas are ovarian cysts that form as a result of endometriosis, and these cysts are called as a chocolate cyst. Why? Because they are filled with dark reddish brown blood. So there is the accumulation of the blood into that cyst. So that's why it termed as the chocolate cyst. So what can be the Ayurvedic management of this cyst? So again, Kashnar Varunadi has a good result. Along with this Varunadi Kwath, you can add Punarnavadi Kwath 20 ml 2 times a day. Gomutra Haritaki 2 tablet 3 times a day. Vireshan Karma, because in a chocolate cyst, the aggravation of Pitta and Rakta is there. So to decrease this Pitta or to balance this Pitta dosha, you can advise the Vireshan Karma, Lekhan Basti and Madhu Tailik Basti. Again, Madhu Tailik Basti has a good result in this chocolate cyst. So the content of Madhu Tailik Basti are Erandbul Kwath 150 ml, Madhu and Tel 48 ml, Shatpushpa Kalk 24 gram, and the Saindha 5 gram. And this Basti should be given for 20 days, continue for 20 days. The last one, and that is the Rajo Nivrutti Janya Lakshan or menopausal syndrome. And this is the common gynecological problem that occur in the later age, in the old age. And the symptoms, common sign and symptoms of menopause, that is the irregular periods, decreased libido, mood swings, hot flushes, senile vaginitis, insomnia, irritability, and bladder irritability. So line of what can be the management of this Rajonivrutti Chanya Lakshan or menopausal syndrome. So you can give a Rasayana Chuna, that is the combination of Guruchi, Gokshu and Amalki. Shatavari Chuna, as it has a phytoestrogenic property, so it will help to balance the hormones. Then Brahmi Vati, if patient has a mood swings, irritability, then you can give Brahmi Vati, Jatamasi Churna, Brahmi Grit Nasya, Shirodhara. In old age, patient have the complaint of dribbling urination or increased urinary frequency. So in this kind of the complaint, you can give the intraurethral Uttar Basti. So with the help of Jatyadi Tel or Balatel, we can perform this Uttar Basti with the help of catheter. And the starting dose of this Basti, that we have to start this Basti with this 2 ml dose, and gradually you can increase the dose up to 30 ml. So it has very good result in cases, chronic cases of increased urination or dribbling urination or cystitis. And for the calcium, like as a calcium supplement, you can give Godanti Basma. So these are the some common gynecological disorders starting from the adolescence period to menopause. So still, if thank you, and still if you have any questions, then you can ask. I like to discuss. I like to discuss these. I like to give the answers about your queries and questions. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. It was a very informative session. And now the session is open for discussion. Participants can ask their questions either in the chat box or through hand raise option. Ma'am, there is a question from Shivani Gupta, ma'am.
Yes.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, hello.
Ma'am, what is the reference of Lekhan Basti in PCOD?
Lekhan Basti, that we applied in PCOD, so that is from Sushruta Samhita. The basic reference of Lekhan Basti is from Sushruta Samhita, but n number of research have been carried out that Lekhan Basti has a good result in cases of PCOS.
And ma'am, in what order we have to give? Kal, Karam or that yoga? 8 days, 16 days, what we have to
Yes,
follow?
yes, for 15 days.
For 15 days. And for Anuvasan, what oil we should use?
In a Lekhan Basti, that I have already mentioned the ingredients of Lekhan Basti. So in that, it is one kind, it is a Niru Basti. So there is no need of to add the Anuvasan Basti along with this Lekhan Basti.
Sometimes, ma'am, when we give continuous Lekhan Basti, patient feel the pain in lower abdomen.
So yes,
So,
it's depends upon the constitute of the patient. Like if patient is obese, then you have to advise this Lekhan Basti. But if patient is lean and thin, then you can give the Yoga Basti, like alternate Niru and Anuvasan Basti. So in this case, you can give Anuvasan Basti with this Shat Pushpa Tela.
okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. There is one question from Dr. Meghana, ma'am.
Yes.
Hello, good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
This is very informative lecture. Ma'am, actually, I want to ask that you told Matra Basti in dysmenorrhea.
Yes.
Ma'am, please tell the period when to start the Matra
Yes.
Basti.
So, in cases of dysmenorrhea, you can give the Matra Basti of Dashmul Tel or a Narayan Tel after completion of menstruation for 10 days. When the bleeding is stopped, like when there completion of menstruation, the menses is stopped, then you can give the Anuvasan Basti or Matra Basti for 10 days, continue for 10 days.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, there are a few questions in the chat box. Ma'am, what are the causes of pelvic congestion due to bilateral tortuous dilated uterine vessels?
Can you please repeat the question?
Okay, ma'am. What are the causes of pelvic congestion due to bilateral tortuous dilated uterine vessels?
What are the causes?
Causes, ma'am. Karanam.
Causes. So that is already mentioned. It is due to dilated vessel, blood vessel. So the blood flow towards the uterus will increase, and for because of this, it leads to pelvic congestion.
And okay, ma'am. And also line of treatment for that.
Okay. So in the pelvic congestion, you can give the Virechyan Karma, Virechyan Karma, and that Snepan, Shaman Snepan with this Panchtikta Grita. After that, you have to give Virechyan Karma, and after the Virechyan, the Basti. That is the line of treatment.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, next question is, what is the reference of Shatapushpa Taila?
Shatapushpa Tela, basically in Kashyap Shanhita, there is a Satpushpa Kalpa. So from that Kashyap Shanhita, we have choose this Shatpushpa Tel for Nashya as well as Matra Basti.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, in Shatapushpa Taila, only Shatapushpa or any other medicines have to be added while preparing Nasya oil.
Only Satpushpa.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, there is one question regarding one case. A patient of 35 years, primary infertility, had fibroid and endometriosis and got operated 2 months ago and ovaries are kept. What treatment can we give for conceive?
So she has the history of uterine fibroid and endometriosis, and before 2 months she was operated for this condition. So after now you can give if the endometrium should be intact for the implantation. So what was the size of fibroid, and what kind of the surgery was performed, that we have to take consideration during the treatment. But in this case, you can advise the Basti, and after the Basti, you can give the medicine for the pregnancy. Like for the conception, I give the medicine for first for 14 days after the completion of the menstruation. Shatapushpa Churna 2 gram along with Trical to 1 gram 3 times a day with Madhu. Rashupravatini Vati 2 tablets 3 times a day. And after the ovulation, for the implantation, you can give Rajastapan Janvati, Shatavari Churna and Pravalpisti for the implantation and for the conception.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, there is another question regarding a female 28 years old complains of vaginal itching and it subsides with local application, but it keeps on reoccurring. So what are the medication can be given in this condition?
So please repeat that question.
A 28 years female complains of vaginal itching and subsides with local application, but it
Right.
keeps on reoccurring.
Okay. So the age of patient is 28 years and the patient has a complaint of recurrent vaginal itching. Here you have to advise the you have to advise patient to go with this fasting blood sugar and PPBS. Like sometimes if the blood sugar is high, there is it is the cause of this recurrent vaginal itching. And second thing, you have to give advice to use some mechanical contraception to prevent the infection from her husband. So that two things that we have to take consideration in case of recurrent vaginal itching.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, what is the role of Hingu Trigunadi Taila in PCOS?
So there are some studies, research work on Hingu Trigunadi Taila, like orally. They advise it to take or consume it in cases of PCOS, and it has a good result. So I am not using that thing, but I know that like I go through some research articles, and in that Hingu Trigunadi Taila has a good result in cases of PCOS.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, what is the treatment for senile vaginitis?
So that I mentioned in this presentation, because the senile vaginitis is due to lack of hormones, that is estrogen. So for that you can give Shatavari Grit orally, Shatavari Kshir orally, and for the local application, even for the local application, you can give the Shatavari Grit. Like instead of Jatyadi Tel, you can use Shatavari Grit Yoni Pichu.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, what is the treatment for hydrosalpines?
Yes. For the hydrosalpines, like if it is an acute one, that we have to know that is it a acute condition or chronic condition. But if it is a case of hydrosalpines, you can give the Punarnavadi Quad, Chandraprabhavati, Gandhak Rashayan and Pushyanub Churna, and even Arpatra Svedan on pelvic region to reduce the congestion.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, can you explain Arkapatra Svedana procedure?
Okay. So we have to take the leaves of arka, and after cleaning that patra or leaf, we are applying the castor oil over the leaf, and then we put it on the plant fire, and then that balm or hot leaf is put over the pelvic region of the patient. And this whole procedure should continue for 20 minutes.
Thank you, ma'am. What can be given in strengthen the uterus in repeated abortion?
In repeated abortion, again, recurrent pregnancy loss. So we have to find out the cause of the recurrent pregnancy loss. Like if there is a torch infection or some genetic anomaly, maybe there, like a genetic genetic problem in these chromosomes that they can lead the recurrent abortion. So according to the cause, we have to treat the patient. Like if it is due to torch infection, then Virechan karma has a good result. And along with Virechan karma, you can give some Rakta Shodhak medicine like Manjishtadi Kwat, Keshor Guglu to prevent the abortion. And if it is due to like anomaly, genetic problem, then you have to advise Panch Karma, whole Panch Karma first, and then after you can advise the patient to try for the conception.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, how to prevent increased bowel frequency during menstruation?
How to prevent? Sorry?
Increased bowel frequency during menstruation.
How to prevent?
Yes, ma'am. The question is like that, ma'am.
So actually, if the bowel frequency is increased at the time of menstruation, that is a good sign. It means anuloman of apan is there. So if it is not like, if there is no increased frequency of bowel, then there will be a dysmenorrhea. So I think we should not treat this kind of the condition.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, what should be the treatment plan in lean PCOS?
So in lean PCOS, along with this, you can give the Virechan karma and Basti. In Basti, you can give Matra Basti only, avoid the Niru Basti. And for the Snepan, you can give Falgrit or Shatavri Grit. So it has some proven effect on that patient, and it will normalize the imbalanced hormone also.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, can you please suggest treatment for chocolate cyst in Pitta Prakriti person?
Actually, the occurrence of chocolate cyst is mainly that we can that is occurred in the Pitta Prakriti persons mainly. While because of involvement of Pitta and Rakta dosha, you can give the Virechana, and after the Virechan, the Madhu Telik Basti has a good result in cases of chocolate cyst. So Virechan is the key in case of chocolate cyst, and specifically in Pitta Prakriti person.
Okay, ma'am. What is the Ayurvedic line of treatment for PID?
Pelvic inflammatory disease. Again, PID, that it is like there is involvement of Pitta and Rakta dosha is there. So in cases of PID, Virechan is the best treatment. After Virechan, you can give a Punarnava Kwath, Chandra Prabhavati, Gandhak Rashayan, Chopchini, and Manjistadi Kwath.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, nowadays some ladies start premenopausal symptoms at the age of 40 with delayed menstrual cycle with an average of 3 to 4 months gap with USG normal. What medicines to be used in this condition?
So if in the age of 40, and if patient has a delay menstruation, then you can give a Dashmul Kwath, Rajapravatini, along with Shatapushpa and Trikatu Chuna.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, treatment of Nabatean cyst in Ayurveda.
So in Nabatean cyst, the local application of Gugulu Lep or the Shang Lep, you can apply the Gugulu Lep or the Shang Lep over the Nabatean cyst. And in oral medicine, you can give a Kashnar Guglu Varunadi Kwath, as you have to treat it like a Granthi.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, what are the medications to be given to improve endometrial thickness?
Yes. So what is the cause of thin endometrium? So it is due to lack of estrogen, like in cases of PCOD, especially in case of PCOD, when there is a less amount of estrogen is there. So in that condition, the endometrium is not that much of thick, like it is a thin. So in that you can give a Shatavari Churna, and in there is one yoga, that is Baladi yoga, Ashwagandha, Bala, Shatavari, and Ashwagandha, Bala, Shatavari. This is the these drugs should be taken combinedly in cases of thin endometrium. And even you can give the Uttar Basti of Shatavari Grita. Uttar Basti of Shatavari Grita has a good result in case of thin endometrium.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, suggest treatment for second-degree uterine prolapse in a lady of 45 years.
Second degree uterine prolapse in age of 45 years. So to treat this condition, we have to know the cause of this uterine prolapse. Like if patient has a history of chronic constipation and cough, then first we have to treat this condition. Then second, you can give the Yoni Abhyang with Balatel and Yoni Potli. There is one procedure, Yoni Potli, named as a Yoni Potli. So you can apply that Yoni Potli deep into the Changeri Grita. Changeri Grita has a good result in case of uterine prolapse. So we can't treat this condition, that is uterine prolapse, but we can prevent the further displacement of the uterus. So that is to be, we have to clarify this thing to patient also.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, can you please repeat about the Arkapata Svedana once more, because at that time the audio was not that much clear, ma'am.
Okay. So for Arkapatra Svedan, we have to take the leaf of Arka. Then after the clean that leaves, we have to apply the castor oil, erandisne, over that leaf, and that should be put on the fire. And after that, kept it on the fire for 2 to 3 minutes, you have to apply these hot leaves over the lower abdomen or pelvic region of the patient, and this whole procedure should be continued for 20 minutes.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, a case that is 28-year-old female having Rakta Pradara more than 18 days in a month, and she's a non-case of Garbhashya Arbuda, and thyroid levels are normal. So what can be the medicines to be given?
So in this condition, when patient has the complaint of excessive bleeding or heavy menstruation, and it is due to uterine fibroid, so we have to treat the uterine fibroid first. Like we have to give Varunadipat, Kanchnar Guglu, Lekhan Basti for these for the treatment of uterine fibroid. Though it will increase the menstruation, but you have to counsel the patient that it is okay to have an excessive amount of bleeding while we are going to treat this uterine fibroid. So here the line of treatment is for that should be applied that is for the uterine fibroid. At that time, you should not give any Stambhan medicine like Pushyanuk Churna or Shonitargal Ras.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, ovulation time, there is abdominal pain. So what is the medication can be given?
So it is a good sign that at the time of ovulation, some amount of pain is it is a physiological condition. So if a patient has unbearable pain, then you can give Sankhvati 2 tablets 3 times a day.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, nowadays endometrial thickness increasing is common. So how to reduce thickness of endometrium?
So the thickness of endometrium is increased. That is known as endometrial hyperplasia. So we have to find out the cause of this condition. Like if there is inflammation into the endometrium, then the thickness of the endometrium can be increased. If there is an anovulatory cycle, Like if there is no ovulation, then due to unopposed estrogen secretion, the thickness of the endometrium can be increased. So first we have to find out the cause of increasing the endometrium thickness, and according to that you have to give the medicine.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, there is one question about early menopause in the age of 38 with FSH is high around 84, endometrial thickness is 4 mm, amenorrhea since 8 months.
Okay, it is a case of premature ovarian failure. Sometimes due to premature ovarian failure, the early sedation of menses can be occurred. So if like there are many causes of premature ovarian failure, but the main cause, that is the autoimmune disease. So that we can treat according to the autoimmunity, and for that you can give the Vardhaman Pipli Prayog. The starting dose of Pipli is 1 gram, then gradually you have to increase this amount of churna, and then gradually decrease that amount. Like you can give the Vardhaman Pipli Prayog in this condition.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, in menarche, if the patient suffering from bleeding for more than 20 days, then what is the management for bleeding? And the patient age is 12 years.
So DUB is a common during this adolescence period, because it may be due to anovulatory bleeding. Like when this onset of menses is there, but still for 2 or 3 years there will be no any ovulation. So because of this anovulatory cycle, there will be excessive amount of menstruation can be done. So in this condition, you can give the Stamban Aushad like Pushyanuk Churna, Shonitarkal Rush, Praval Pisti, along with some local application like Krishnamrutika lep over the pelvic region. So this can be the line of treatment.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, how can we reduce menopausal symptoms with Ayurveda?
So to reduce the menopausal symptoms, you can start this Rasayan Churna or Rasayan Kalpvati before onset of the menopause, or before establishment of the menopause. And Shatavari is a fantastic drug that we can give in menopause or before the onset of menopause. So you can start the Shatavari Churna 3 gram 3 times a day. For the calcium, like if patient if you want to prevent the osteoporosis in menopause, then you can give Godanti Bhasma along with the Shatavari Churna. And to reduce the hot flushes and mood swings, you can add the Brahmi Churna and Brahmigrit Nasya before the starting of this menopause.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, what is the treatment for melasma during perimenopause?
Melasma during perimenopause. So again, it is due to hormonal imbalance. So there is a Tvakadushti in this condition. So you can add the along with this medicine of menopausal symptoms. You can add Manjistadiquat and Panchatikta Grita orally. You can give orally Panchatikta Grita to treat this condition.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, what is the treatment of Nabothian cyst?
So that I have already mentioned, like Nabothian cyst.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, another one more question. A person age 50 years old with regular menses, but after 15 days, again, pervaginal slight bleeding for 2 days. So in that condition, what can be given?
The age of patient is 50 years.
50, ma'am.
50. And
Yeah,
after
ma'am.
15 days, again PV slight bleeding for 2 days. So it is the case of like it is a mid-cycle bleeding. There is spotting between the cycles. So it may be due to cyst, ovarian cyst. Uh, in cases of ovarian cyst, this kind of picture we can see. So we have to advise the USG to diagnose the cause of this mid-cycle bleeding.
Thank you, ma'am. Any more queries from participants side? Can ask their questions. Yes, ma'am. One more question. A patient has multiple small follicles on one side and on other side follicular study normal, but fallopian tube is blocked. In this case, what can be given?
So if fallopian tube is blocked, like both fallopian tubes are blocked or either one fallopian tube is blocked, that I want to ask.
One fallopian tube is normal.
Blocked. And one ovary is normal. One side the development of follicle is there, and in one ovary there is a multiple follicle, right? And one fallopian tube is blocked.
Yes, ma'am.
So first we have to clear that blockage, and for the to open that fallopian tube blockage, you can give the Uttarbasti. Uttarbasti with Apamakshar tel or Kumari tel or Til tel. So to open that blockage, you have to give Uttarbasti.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, PCOS with hypothyroidism is difficult in obese patients, but how to treat these kind of patients?
Yes. So in case of hypothyroidism, along with PCOS, so I advise patient to continue the allopathic medicine like for Thyronum 75 mg or whatsoever the dose that is decided by the physician, that should not be stopped. But you can add some Ayurvedic medicine like Trifla Churna, Vidang. Vidang has a good result in case of hypothyroidism. So along with Trifla, you can add the Vidang Churna to treat this hypothyroidism and PCOS.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, whether Yoni Potli is same as Yoni Pichu?
No. In a Yoni Pichu, you can use the simple ghost piece. Like there is here in Gujarat, what we prepared in a Yoni Potli, we had some churna powder of Lodra, Nagakeshar, Vacha, Kusht, Vidang, and Haridra. So these are the combination of this churna should be added into the ghost piece, and after that we prepare the Yoni Potli. While in Yoni Pichu, there is no any other medicine that is to be kept inside that ghost piece.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, there is one case. A patient did his hysterectomy at the age of 52. Now complains of severe backache with thyroid dysfunction. So what can be done in this case?
So patient hysterectomy has been done in the age of 52 years.
Ma'am.
Yes, and now patient has a complaint of thyroid. Simple, you can treat this condition of hypothyroidism. Like you can give this Trifla Churna and Vidang Churna in this condition, and if just hysterectomy is there or the like ovary are also removed, so then you have to give a Rasayana Churna and Shatavari Churna to supplement that hormones.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, whether we can treat ovarian cyst of 10 centimeter in an unmarried woman?
No, we can't treat these. Even you should not try to treat this kind of the condition when the there is a it is too large. Like 10 centimeter is too large a size to treat with the Ayurveda. So you can advise the patient to go for the cystectomy.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, Shatapushpa is good for reproductive system. So if taking every day after meal is having any other adverse effect?
Yeah, Shatpushpa can be taken for a long time, but not every day after the meal. Like it can be continued for 2 or 3 months. Then after that you have to give the break. You can't continue this medicine. Continue like every day. You can't use this thing.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, treatment of ovarian cyst during pre-menopausal age.
So, what kind of the ovarian cyst is that? First, we have to think about that. Like it is a simple ovarian follicular cyst, hemorrhagic cyst, or is there any other carcinogenic changes into that cyst that we have to find out. Like if it is a before the menopausal, the cyst is there, and if it is a hemorrhagic cyst, then you have to rule out these malignant changes also. And according to that condition, you have to treat that patient.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, in menorrhagia, when we should start Stambhaka?
So in menorrhagia, and according to the Ayurveda also, na ado stambhait. In initial phase, you should not give Stamban medicine. If you feel that now there is no arm dosha in this condition, then you can give the Stamban Aushad. Like after if after 3 or 4 days of the excessive menstruation, then you can give this Stamban Aushad.
Thank you, ma'am. Any more queries from participant side? Ma'am, there is one more question. Nowadays, college girls are using menstrual cups. So what's your view on using menstrual cups instead of pad?
So it is not it is not advisable to use menstrual cups because that is kept into the vagina, and it gives some like irritation. Even there is chances of increase. There is more chance to get the infection with this use of menstrual cups. So it is not advisable to use menstrual cup instead of pads. Even in menstrual pads, I advise the younger girls to use the cotton pads, not like jelly pads, because again it is stained with some chemicals, and it has some adverse effect on the vaginal pH, even vaginal atmosphere. So you should not use menstrual cup during the menses.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, a patient of 18 years old having irregular menstruation with an average of 2 to 3 months, having all reports are normal. So in this condition, what can be given?
Like all reports are normal. So if like USG is normal, that there is no any issue. But I advise that you have to do the blood test also regarding hemoglobin. Like if it is due to lack of hemoglobin, or the hemoglobin is low, again there will be a amenorrhea. So in this condition, you can give the Datri Loha, Punarnava Mandur, and along with this, you can add Kumari Asav and Rajapravatani Vati.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, there is a question from Dr. Seema.
Hello, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes.
Ma'am, this question is from my side. I'm having 2 to 3 patients which came with irregular periods and oligomenorrhea, and I have done all the hormonal assay and referred to endocrinologist too.
Yes.
And USG is normal, ovaries are normal. Previously diagnosed as PCOD, वो भी question mark था. But I gave for some time Kanchnar Google and Vriddhi Vadika Vati for 1 to 2 months, and the USG was normal. That doubt was cleared. But periods are not normal. Slightly bulky build-up was there with the patient. Obese, we can say on the obesity side. But diet control is there. But I'm not able to achieve regular periods, there is a patient needs after 3 to 4 months hormonal dose is needed to get the periods regular.
So basically, if patient is obese, though it is on diet control, you can give some medicine to reduce the weight, like Gomutra Haritaki or Arogya Vardhini. And along with this, you can add the Shatpushpa Tel Nashya, Nasya Karma of Satpushpa Tel. And in this kind of the condition, you can give the Tel orally in a Shaman Matra, because Tel has a good effect in cases of Anartha. So it has a Garbhashodak property also. So these thing that you can add.
These patients are, ma'am, they are not going for Panchakarma. I advise them. But these college going girls, I'm having this thing, periods are oligomenorrhea type of thing is there. They are having per annum 9 to 10 cycles. PCOD is covered, but their period is not healthy.
Yeah, but for the Nasya Karma, that you should not, like it is not a IPD based procedure. You can ask the that girls to come to your OPD and you can perform the Nasya for 6 days. And this to be continued for 3 cycle, not for 1 month. And for the Tel that is to be given in Shaman Matra, not for Shodhan purpose. So you can give, you can advise 20 ml 2 times a day oral administration of Tela.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, shall we conclude the session?
Sure. Yes, we can.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. With that, we come to an end of this beautiful celebration womanhood. A woman's heart hold the light that guide you through dark tunnel like that of life. Once again, wishing you all a very happy International Women's Day on behalf of the entire team Diksha. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your valuable time with us and making this evening even more special. Thank you all the participants for gracing the occasion. Just like how a home is incomplete without the presence of a woman, here we are Diksha e-learning are incomplete with your presence, without your presence. Stay connected with us in all our social media for knowing all the upcoming programs. Wishing you all a very great evening ahead. Thank you all and good night.